Today we're diving into a powerful new playbook, one that's designed to help handle those incredibly tough moments when a personal crisis crashes right into our professional lives.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You get a call, you get some news, and just like that, your world is completely upside down. The thing is, a personal crisis doesn't care if you're on the clock.
And that begs a really important question. What if there was a better way? A system, a clear, compassionate framework to make sure that all that personal turmoil doesn't automatically become a catastrophe at work. Let's take a look at what that might look like.
Okay, so first things first, let's get real about the situation. When a crisis hits, it usually unleashes chaos and a ton of uncertainty into the workplace. And that's true for everybody, the employee, their manager, the whole team. So what do people actually need in those moments?
Well, when you're in a crisis, it turns out what you need from your employer really boils down to 4 key things. First, stability, just knowing your job is secure. Second, safety, especially from any threats that could follow you to work. Third is dignity, being treated like a human being with compassion, not judgment. And finally, continuity, having the resources to get through the crisis without being forced to quit. Because at the end of the day, a stable job can be the very foundation you need to start rebuilding.
So, how can a company actually provide that kind of support in a systematic way? It really takes a clear, repeatable playbook. We're going to walk through one of those frameworks today called CoTrackPro, and it's all about replacing that chaos with some much-needed clarity.
At its heart, this whole thing is a closed-loop system. Now, that term closed loop, that's super important. It basically means no one gets lost in the shuffle. It's designed to get everyone, the employee, HR, their manager, all on the same page to navigate the crisis in a way that protects the person and keeps the business running.
And the foundation of any good system, any playbook that actually works, is getting everyone to speak the same language. It all starts right there with a common vocabulary, so that when a crisis does hit, everybody knows exactly what we're talking about.
So this shared language, it's really built on just 5 key ingredients, 5 simple terms that create a whole world of clarity. Let's break them down.
First up is role, and this one is super straightforward. It's all about answering the question, who does what? By clearly defining who is responsible for each piece, whether it's HR, a manager, or maybe the employee assistance program, you get rid of all the confusion and make sure the right person is taking the right action at the right time.
Next, we have the trigger. Think of this as the starting gun. It's the specific thing that happens that kicks the whole system into gear. It's not some vague feeling. It's a concrete event. Like, say, receiving a threat, a sudden collapse in your childcare, or knowing you have a big court date coming up. This is the signal to open up the playbook. So, once a trigger happens, you kick off a workstream. The easiest way to think about this is like the specific play you're going to run for that exact situation. It's a pre-planned, repeatable set of steps, like triage, then create a plan, then follow up. It gives you a logical path forward, so there's no more guessing about what to do next.
All right, next up, the artifact. Now, this might sound a little technical, but it's really just the proof. It's the documented output of a workstream, the tangible thing that shows support is actually happening. It could be a written safety plan, a formal request for flexible hours, or an incident log. This is what makes the whole process real and holds everyone accountable.
And finally, we've got the handoff. This is that clear, verified transfer of responsibility from one role to another. It isn't just a manager saying, hey, you should call the support line. No, it's about making sure that connection actually happens. This step is absolutely crucial. It's what closes the loop and makes sure nobody falls through the cracks.
Okay, so we've got the 5 ingredients. Now let's see how they all work together. Let's follow a real-world scenario and watch how this framework can take a situation from a chaotic trigger all the way back to stability.
So let's take a common, and let's be honest, an incredibly stressful trigger. An employee has a critical court hearing week coming up. Now, instead of chaos and panic, the system points to a clear first best action. Activate a flexible work plan. And that immediately leads to creating our very first artifact, a next 7 days work stability plan.
This action is all part of a specific workstream called Crisis Triage. See how it works? Step 1, HR uses a simple checklist to quickly figure out what's needed. 2, they draft that 7-day plan we just talked about. 3, they clearly communicate any schedule changes to the rest of the team. And 4, they do a formal handoff to other support services. See? It's a logical flow.
And look at what you get at the end of this. A whole set of concrete artifacts. You have a documented plan, you have confirmation of the EAP referral, there's a check-in scheduled right there on the calendar, and there's even the script the manager used for the conversation. This is how you turn good intentions into real, tangible, reliable support.
So when you zoom out, what's the big picture impact to putting a system like this in place?
Well, the benefits create this incredible positive ripple effect for literally everyone involved.
And here's what's so critical to understand. This is a two-way street. When employers contribute things like stability and dignity, they get something really powerful back. We're talking less disruption, lower risk, and you get to keep valuable employees. This proves that this isn't about charity. There is a real business case for compassion.
And that impact, it ripples out way beyond the company doors. When you stabilize an employee at work, that helps stabilize their family. That in turn boosts morale for the entire team at work. And ultimately, it even contributes to the safety of the whole community by helping contain a crisis before it can get worse.
Which brings us to this final, really powerful idea. The support an employer gives isn't just some line in a policy handbook. It's a foundational piece of a healthy community. So the real takeaway is this. What if the workplace could actually become the first, most reliable point of stability when everything else in someone's life feels like it's falling apart?